I actually want to open up with the quote that we had in meditation today. I notice how my awareness transforms the atmosphere within and around me. This is something that played out for me big time this week as I was in between fitness challenges. And so before I go on to the story of what it is that I was noticing this last week, I want to flip to The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes for just a minute, where he talked about life as sort of being like a table supported by 4 legs. We have our relationships, we have our physical health, we have our career, and we have our finances. Now, there could be more categories in there that you could put in, and you could be talking about pillars versus legs of a table. You could be having like 5 or 7 or 12 or something, foundational elements that make up life. But for Ernest Holmes, it was a table, and this table had 4 legs. And so the whole thing about it was that you need to focus on all 4 legs of the table, because if you focus too much on one but not on the rest, then your table's going to end up being wobbly, and that's what your life experience is going to be like, right? So you can't focus on only one leg of the proverbial table without the other 3 eventually wobbling in response. And so for me, this is kind of what my last week was about. So many of you know I just finished off this super intensive, grueling 8-week fitness challenge, which was phenomenal. I did not win. However, I am so excited by the transformation in my body, in my strength, in my resilience, and I really appreciated all of the aspects of the program that were involved. And now, on Monday, tomorrow, I'm starting another one with the same group of people, with the same teacher, and it's only 4 weeks. But in between, the whole thing was take the week off, okay? Don't exercise, eat whatever you want, just like treat yourself. Don't worry about, trying to be regimented or routined or whatever. Just enjoy the week off. And at first, for me, that was like, yeah, because we were working so hard and I was in pain and I was tired. I mean, my muscles grew, my body changed, and I completely transformed my physical being through this 8-week intensive program. But I was tired, and it was a lot of hard work, and it was a lot of extra work every single day to actually work on these exercises and incorporate all the stuff that I was doing. So I was so looking forward to this time off and this spaciousness. And about 2 days in, Glenn asks me, so how's it going? And I'm like, I'm not having a good time. This is really hard to not have the structure of the program, of all of these strength workouts, of all of these cardio workouts, and for me, of the meal plan. Because I realized how much energy I waste, valuable energy I waste by wondering, what am I going to eat for breakfast? Am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to eat for lunch? What kind of groceries should I buy? Should I buy them according to a menu, or should I just buy stuff and then make stuff based on the groceries that I buy? It's kind of crazy making for me and a complete waste of my creative energy. And so I noticed that more and more and more as this week went along. And even though there were a few things that I really wanted to indulge in, like crispy fish skin, that was just something I was so looking forward to, and it was so good. But otherwise, because of the way this meal plan was set up, I was eating 5 times a day. And so I felt satiated. All the textures, all the flavors, all the vegetables. There was even, I had my protein powders that were flavored, and so I was getting different flavors. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. And the structure, the routine of eat this at this time, and this whole menu is for this week, was so incredible and nourishing and supportive for me. So without that, what I realized very quickly was I don't like this non-routine stuff. I really thrive on structure. And because I don't have this structure, it's impacting every single other aspect of my life. I'm cranky, I don't feel good, I'm wasting energy on thinking about food when I could be thinking about other things. And it got to the point where, because I wasn't working out, the exertion that I have with my physical body lifting and pulling heavy things wasn't happening. There was all of this energy that wasn't going anywhere, and it just turned out into being incredibly nerpy all week long. And so I'm so excited because today in the afternoon, I'm going grocery shopping for my meal plan for next week. I have in my schedule all the workout times of when I'm doing my strength, when I'm doing my cardio, and even this morning, already knowing that that is coming, that I have planned for it, that I've created some structure and routine for myself, allowed me to calm down and to actually be able to focus better so that I could actually meditate better this morning. So, back to the science of mind as well. When we talk about our style of affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, or some people like to call it practical prayer, the whole point of that kind of prayer is to move energy for a specific purpose. A specific purpose is key. It's not just kind of like, some people will say, for the greatest and highest good, for various reasons, but the more specific we can be about what it is that we're focusing our energy on, the more specific the result is going to be, right? Otherwise, we could be very general and very generic, and we might demonstrate part of what it is that we want to demonstrate or experience, but ultimately, without that specificity, without really honing our focus and attention on something, we're just kind of dispersing energy willy-nilly. So if we want to experience a different life, if we want to be really, really clear about what it is that we want to experience, we have to get really clear with our energy direction. And this is something for me that was missing this entire week, and I was really, really glad to notice that. So the title of my talk today is The Table of Life, Creating Stability Through Focus, Direction, and Purpose. So these three things are the things that were kind of missing for me this last week, in this week off, in this week of treat yourself, do whatever you want, don't do this stuff. And so for most of the week, it was destabilizing and discombobulating because I'm like, I miss the structure. But what I also realize is that that's the mindset, that's the perspective that I ended up coming from for almost the entire week, rather than, okay, I'm noticing that this is what's alive in me right now. I'm noticing that this is how I'm feeling. So how can I shift that feeling? And how can I actually enjoy this spaciousness and freedom that I have in between these two grueling fitness challenges, which I absolutely love, by the way. So for me, what I came to realize, and it wasn't something new, but it was just remember, the purposeful structure is freedom, not limitation. But the purpose and the meaning comes from the meaning that we give it, right? So Reverend Blenda said, always a choice, always choosing. Am I showing up as the love that I truly am? Or am I focusing on the complaining about how, oh my God, I thrive with structure and I'm missing the structure and this isn't working for me? Well, there was a lot of the latter, but then there was also this back and forth of like, I can choose whatever I want. I can experience this week however I want. What I came away with, though, is even though I can choose to experience however I want, my preference is for structure. Because structure gives me a foundation. Structure I can build on top of, instead of sort of having this amoeba-like experience where I'm trying to build stuff on top, but it's like sinking and there's like no, all the walls are soft or whatever, right? I need that scaffolding. I need that structure. I need that solid foundation so that I can continue to build upon it. So what I wanted to offer is 3 practical tools. Yeah, 3. So the first one is to check in with the 4 legs of your table daily. Just look at your relationships, look at your physical health, look at your career, look at your finances. Which of those 4 legs might require some extra attention today? Or might require some extra attention in this moment, knowing that a few moments down the road, you'll be focusing on some other leg of the table. Choose your daily direction. So set a clear purpose for the day. What is your intention for the day? I know some people will journal the night before, and I am so grateful and thankful for completing for the next day. Some people will do it first thing in the morning. Having a clear direction really, really helps, Because when you have a clear direction, you're actually going somewhere. You're actually funneling your energy in a specific way. You're moving energy for a specific purpose versus kind of being like a leaky hose and just having all these sprays happening all over the place. And then the third thing is build a purposeful weekly framework. And so in that, have 3 daily anchor practices. Do something that supports mental growth. Do something that supports spiritual growth. Do something that supports physical and emotional growth. That comes to 4 practices. But do something that nurtures you, something that cultivates all of these aspects of being, because we are love, we are God in action, we are energy that is moving all the time. But unless we choose to intentionally show up as that, unless we choose to direct it, then we're just kind of showing up willy-nilly all over the place and then wondering, why am I feeling irritated or agitated, or why am I not getting the results I want, or why am I not experiencing the life that I want to experience? So creating some daily practices to support mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual growth, this helps create alignment without constriction and turns that freedom that can sometimes be a little too scary or intangible into flow. So what I want to leave you with is what we focus on expands. Intentionality creates structure, and structure reinforces purpose by offering a foundation for focus and direction. With more focus and direction, we create stability with our table of life, and with more stability, we open up to experiencing and attracting more ease, peace, and joy, kind of like what Kelby was talking about in the boat ride, as your fellow musician was noticing all of this stuff about life. And so more ease, more peace, more joy, and who wouldn't want more of that to fill our table? Thank you, and so it is.